Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I am very, very excited and honored and titillated to share some poetry with you. And it's by a poet that I've been following for about 10 years now online. And I am very, very grateful to have his permission to, share some of the poems from his book. So, the poet's name is Tyler Knott Gregson, and his book that I'm going to be reading from is this absolute gem called Chasers of the Light. And I asked for this book a few years ago for my birthday from my mum and dad, and I was so excited to receive it in the mail. So it feels very, very special and sacred to me, and so I'm really happy to share some of the poems with you today. I'm just going to start with the introduction and the beginning of the book that Tyler wrote. Just to introduce him, if you don't know him yet. Introductions. Introductions, as I interpret them, should start at the beginning of the story, the beginning of the journey, the beginning of the tall tale that explains how you came to be where you ended up. This story could begin in a few different places. There's the day I wrote my first poem when I was 12 years old. But I'm going to begin with the day I bought my first typewriter in an antique store in Helena, Montana. I remember the way the typewriter smelled, like dust and dried ink. I remember the keys and how they stuck when I first tested them. I remember the Remington logo fading on the front. Mostly, I remember how there was still enough ink left in the original ribbon to type the very first poem in the typewriter series, the first poem in this book. I typed it in the store, standing up near the entrance, with a page from a broken book I was buying for $2. I typed it without thinking, without planning, and without the ability to revise anything. I fell in love. I loved the urgency, the particular inability to erase, edit, and alter that comes with using a typewriter. The uninterrupted stream of thoughts. I loved the way the pages reflected my mind, unfiltered and imperfect and honest. In a digital world, it felt like fresh air to hold analog words. Over the years as a photographer and a writer, I found a lot of ways to express inside things in an outside way. And with these poems, I've come to see that they all share a common thread. Whether the poems live on found paper or come about through blacked out book pages or accompany pictures I've taken, they all try to do two things. Dissect big things, giant gestures, grand emotions, into small glimpses, tiny fragments. Take miniature moments, stolen seconds, blink and you'll miss them glances, and make them enormous. The miracle in the mundane, the epic made simple. I wrote once that I was a memory keeper, that I was a trapper of time. I wrote that I was a stealer of stolen glances, a thief of buried fears. I wrote that I was a chaser of the light. After all this time writing and all the photos I have ever taken, I realized just how true those lines are. In all I write and all I say, I am trying to chase the light that I cannot help but see around me. This book, in the simplest terms, is a map my wandering feet have taken in that pursuit. It is simple words on random pieces of paper that snuck into my life along the way. There will always be light, and I will never stop chasing it. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Tyler. So I'm going to read that first poem that he talked about in his introductions, and just so you know, that's what it looked like when he typed it. What if all we ever wanted isn't hiding in some secret and faraway dream, but inside of us now, as we breathe one another and find home in the way our arms always seem to fit perfectly around the spaces between us? What if we are the answer and love was the question? What if all this time it was us you were supposed to find? I am filled with wonderings, questions, and doubt, but of one thing I am certain. It will always be you that gives flight to the butterflies inside me, calm to the sea I have become, and hope to the darkness all around us. It is you, and it has always been you. You. You that soothes and excites and spreads joy like rainfall on the already damp earth. You that pulled me from the longest sleep and kissed my tired eyelids awake. If life is a question mark, then you, my love, are the proud and bold period that is typed with certainty. I'm going to read a few more for you. I love you in ways you've never been loved, for reasons you've never been told, for longer than you think you deserved, and with more than you will ever know existed inside me. Breathing in those words. Here's another example of the way that he types. Isn't it beautiful? I will miss you always, even in the moments when you are right beside me. Time apart has planted longing inside me, and I do not think it is a weed that will ever stop growing. It will always live there, but my God, it grows the most spectacular flowers. They're written with so much purity and heart. I really enjoy them. Here we go. There's another one. Let's take a little breath. Sit back and listen. Peel back my skin, and it won't be bones you will find hiding under the muscles, the tissues, the scars, and the freckles are decaying timbers washed ashore. I am a sinking ship made of unsinkable parts. I am an old boat built without a rudder, a tattered sheet for a sail. Can you see what I've been trying to show you? That I go where the breeze decides to carry me, and you, my love, are a hurricane. I am made from the creaking beams and rusting nails of a lonely vessel on a lonely sea. I am covered and coated, dusted with old salt water and the frail residue of moonlight. The oars and the compass, the anchor and the wheel have long since abandoned me. Can you hear what I've longed to tell you? That I go where the waves wish to deliver me, and you, my love, are the tide. Press your ear to my chest and listen. Where a heartbeat should sing, you will hear the melancholy songs of tired whales, the unsettled sigh and explosion of breath as they find the surface once again. Can you taste the salt on my lips? Can you listen to the words I've been aching to say? That I go where the lights pull me, and you, my love, are the stars. Stare through the portholes of my eyes, across the grey, blue and green they float upon. Hold tight to the timbers hiding under this flesh, and fill the empty sails with your grace. I am the fragments of a shattered ship, filled with ancient songs sung by ancient souls. Can you feel me falling into you as you leak into me? That I am a sinking ship, made from sinking parts, and you, my love, are the sea. Yeah, I've got one more that I'd like to share with you. Thank you. Again, another little picture. I'm going to share this long one here with you. If only I could show you the stuffing that stretches our seams, the fluff that fills our empty bits, and the space between our spaces. If I could pull it all out, long and connected like magician's scarves, hidden in magician's sleeves, I would show it to you with great fanfare and with imaginary sweat dripping down my forehead from the imaginary spotlight. I would take one long, deep and lasting bow, for the truth would be spilled out in front of you. Dangling from my hands, but the illusion, the secret and the style behind the substance would bring hands together in unison and in uproarious applause. All the threads that tied together made us up, the spools born into us unwinding, and the extra we added along the way, carried, saved, like if we were birds, beaks, and our hearts a nest. When held out for you, arm's length, and decorated with colored lights from the aging stage, creaking floors and tattered seats, here is what you would find, what we are made of after all this time. We are the memory keepers and the trappers of time, stealers of stolen glances and breathless lungs from all that have been taken away. We are the noticers of subtle signs hidden in plain sight by a benevolent universe bigger than we'd ever believe. We are the thieves of buried fears and the confidence left behind, left like jingling coins under sleeping pillows after first teeth have been carried off. We are the leapers and the builders of wings on the fall towards the ground. We are the wing beats and the sound of flying. We are the directionless wanderers and the devastationless travelers, and we are the crumpled map that never got packed to join us. We are the cinematic lovers and the translucent curtains saturated in light. The soundtrack to the moments without sounds, and the swiftness that two bodies can become one in the stillness of a second. We, says the last string pulled out, the final string that kept it all together, balled up tight, filling us up after all this time. We are the chasers of the light. Thank you. Thank you, Tyler. And thank you for listening and receiving and sharing with me. Breathing in the light, breathing in the love, breathing in the grace of this moment. And all that was, is, and will be. You are worthy of the light, and you are the light. Thank you. Take good care of yourself.